Morning to you. My name is Adele Onyango with Shafi Weru, Breakfast with the Stars. And the star that we have today, I've been seeing her star rising and rising and rising and rising. And now I'm like, what? The little cake girl, aka Samantha, is live in studio with us.
Literally.
She's literally. Shafi?
We had to bring like extra cushioning.
Pillows.
But the way is that cushion? Is a cushion is just to sit on. Where?
Yes. Yeah. You see, guys.
We'll sort it out.
Somehow you're actually like, now she's tall. We just gave her a cushion, guys.
I'm not talking under Waba. Now she's on our level.
And now we're starting like we're two giants in the studio. I'm so sorry. Okay, so Samantha is here because first and foremost, she dared to just, make her passion her business, and it's actually working, right? So your passion is
many things.
Yeah.
But I'm here to talk about my passion as a cake artist.
Yeah.
And that just means I work on luxury cakes.
Yeah.
I basically merged my love for baking with my love for art.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And but was that the plan?
Earlier you guys were talking about degrees. I was listening in and I was like, I have so much to talk about regarding that because I studied IT in uni.
Okay.
Right? Initially growing up, I knew I always wanted to be in IT.
Yeah.
And then one day I was like, no, but I'm also a creative, so I'm like, so it takes a while because everybody has seen you as this person for so long. IT, my friend is an IT manager, you get a job there, whatever. And then I just kept feeling, especially when I was in uni, that I felt like I was the only person in the entire institution who wasn't enjoying being there.
Okay.
So that wasn't the plan, really. I didn't have a creative outlet. I didn't even know that I needed one at that point. But towards the end of my journey in uni, which was longer than, close to 4 years, I started to feel like, no, I need something else. I need to find a place where I can explore creativity. And then I had my firstborn.
Yeah.
And it was during that period that I was like, okay, now I'm not going to do this anymore. I think I became a little bit hard-headed.
Yeah.
And I was like, if at all I'm going to come out of this with anything, because I think I took a gap year at that time, let me at least do something I love. And then the cake thing was born, and I began to do cakes, very, very low-key, like one cake a month, literally.
Yeah.
But the joy I got out of it was insane. Like, I kept thinking, like, I may have stayed up 2 days doing one tiny cake, but I felt so good about it.
Yeah.
And then I'd expose myself a little bit more because back then there wasn't all this cake boss and everything that people knew about. YouTube wasn't the sensation that it is now.
Yeah.
So I'd look for all these like manner of inspiration, and I'd look at these cakes and I'd be like, wait, how do they do this?
Yeah.
And who can teach me, And obviously the answer was, at that point, I didn't have a place where I could go and further that skill. So I just kept trying, and I'd, try weird things, and some of it works, and then, try things I've seen other places, and it works. But then, so that was actually the journey. It was difficult in the beginning, I'll say. Now, so that's 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, because my daughter is 7 now. She's my milestone.
That's how you know.
Yeah, that's how I know.
So obviously, it's never easy, especially if you're coming from, now you have to start telling people, by the way, IT, nah, not so much. I think this baking thing, I'm onto something. So in the next 3 minutes, we do find out when you say there are challenges, what are those challenges, man? Because from the outside, it looks very glamorous. But if you're just joining us, you can send through your questions if you're having a situation, trying to figure out, okay, this is my passion. How do I communicate it to my folks? You can send your questions to us on Twitter at Kiss100 Kenya. Just guess who's this guy?
This is Kevin Little.
Yes!
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah. And the slow motion is coming your way right here on Kiss FM, your number one hit music station. My name is Adele Onyango with Shafi Weru, and we have Samantha, who is behind Little Cake Girl. Some people on Twitter are grabbing the photos from your Insta page, like the cake photos. It's hilarious. But I need to ask the question. You say there's some challenges, right?
Yeah.
So you started this because now you're jumping away from IT. What was the first thing you went through that made you think, maybe IT wasn't such a bad idea? Let me go back.
I think, like I said earlier, the most obvious thing was everybody else in uni was really enjoying what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And I really liked being in school. I loved being in high school. But at that point, I was like, why is this draining me every single day?
Yeah.
And missing class was more exciting than going, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then at some point you realize I'm not happy. I'm just not happy. And then everyone is cheering and you on and you're like, okay, guys, I don't like this thing. So what do I do? So, yes, that was the point. I knew at that point, yes, let me finish this uni phase, but I'm never going to put myself into an IT situation. Not never, but it wasn't going to fulfill me. I knew at least at that point that wasn't the direction.
Yeah.
And if you remember Adele, when you used to host some poetry.
Yeah, open mic.
Yes, open mic. That's when I was starting out. And I'd be like, Adele, hi, do you want a chocolate cake for your gig?
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember. Yeah.
I'm vaguely remembering. Yeah.
So that's how. Yeah. So
just say you want cake.
Moving on.
Shafi, how many birthdays do you have in your household? So that's when it started. And then I'd always get such good responses.
Yeah.
And so, that would push me further. Also because this cake thing is a happy industry. People don't order cakes for funerals. Although I think I've done one or two, but generally it's a happy industry. So every time I'm in a situation where my cake is there, people are always happy. There's good reviews and they, happy times. And I knew at that point, this is exactly where I want to be. This is the environment I want to have. These are the emotions I want to surround myself with.
So I'm in the right space.
So I'm in the right space.
How do you silence the naysayers? Because there's definitely naysayers around you, and sometimes it's people close to you, so they feel like they're speaking out of love.
Yeah.
But then you're just like, why would you go and say that now? Now I'm doubting myself.
I know. Well, to be honest, I wasn't really confident in what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really silencing them as much as I was just trying to juggle everybody and make everybody happy. But I remember making a promise to my dad, and I was like, Dad, listen, if you just let me just do this thing, I will make you so proud. I'll be the best in the country, in East Africa. I remember making all those vows. I hope I'm still making him proud. But I remember telling him, if I just trust me, and he's just like, listen, do you know how much we've paid for you to be an IT expert?
For receipts for school fees.
School fees. He's like, by now you should be working in Microsoft. But I was like, listen, guys, this is a new thing. I know you don't understand it, and I don't understand it that much because it's a new industry. But let me just do it. Yeah. It'll be good.
So in the next 3 minutes, if your passion, you're trying to see, okay, how do I make it a business? Is there money in it? Maybe you're sitting there and you love baking and you're like, okay, but can I really live off of it? We're going to get to that in 3 minutes. We have Samantha in studio. She is the force behind Little Cake Girl. And you're with Adele Onyango and Shafi Weru, and we have Little Cake Girl, aka Samantha, who, just quit IT, was like, no, it's not making me happy. What's making me happy is baking, and you're now building an empire. So, Little Cake Girl, is it because of your height? As Shafi said, she's literally little. Surely.
No, I just wanted people to know what to expect when I walk into a room. Let me explain. Okay, I think I'll use my children as the benchmark. So when I started this business, that was when I was expecting my daughter 7 years ago. And when I started, I had a very generic brand name. And it was cute at the time. But because now other people started to do the same line of business, everybody's business name sounded the same. Sweet this, tasty that, beautiful what. And I was like, no.
You have to stand out.
Right. So I was actually in a women's entrepreneurship seminar for a week, and there was another baker, but she's like a veteran. I look up to her. She's called Beatrice, and she held me at lunchtime, and she's like, "You're so little. You should just call yourself Little Cake Girl."
You're so little.
Yeah, and I was like, and it came to me. I was like, "This is it." And to date, I always tell her it's because of you. You baptized me. Yeah, so I took it and I ran.
And what's really dope is, okay, so now, especially with your passion and with businesses, you always have to evolve, right? You always have to be thinking, okay, what is the next thing? And what's the next thing that's going to be bringing in revenue? You know what I mean? So then now you expanded, didn't you? Okay, so what are you doing now?
About 3 years ago, enter second born child. That's my son, Aiden. So my daughter is Jade, my son is Aiden. I slowed down a little bit, obviously, because I was expecting and everything. But then I always had people inquire about training. And I'd be like, hey, can I train? Is this something I'd like to do? Am I that personable? I don't know if I can be that patient. Anyway, but I hear I'm very pregnant. So I can sit with somebody and tell them what to do. And I did it actually so much that year. And this was what, 20 what? 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it. And I was so surprised at how much I liked it. I thought it was going to be easier, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So now I had to juggle between being a luxury cake artist and a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And training actually is a lot more consuming for me because it teaches you more. I mean, everybody who teaches a craft knows you learn more as you teach.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always learning from other sources, learning from my teaching experiences and all that. So I said, you know what, this is an area of business that I'm really, really passionate about all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So let me do my research, let me write down a business plan, and let me, get things in order so that I can expand into training.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, predominantly, that's where this is going, is that I just want to train people, share, pass on the skill, watch people grow, because this is a new industry. It's not something that is very strict with standards and everything.
Yeah.
And so my desire is to see people rise up within a year with what I can give them from my experience of 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's it's an unconventional trade.
Yes.
So by the time someone is coming to ask you, I want you to train me, they have the passion and they have the desire and the tunes.
And then now you have to
Unlike
refine it.
when you were in Campo trying to do IT and you're wondering,
Nianze
who you
wapi?
lecture at Amanza Sangata. Are you getting my point?
I get you. But these people at home, and sometimes baking for the longest time, and even up to date, is seen as a hobby.
Yeah.
It's something that you just do when you have famo coming over.
You and me about to uptown.
Yeah.
The only baking that's done in the slums is ugali. That's cooking ugali.
This is not baking, actually. However, someone needs to come for your training in 3 minutes.
Wait, hey, we'll start next week. Can we start with Shafi next week?
You don't bake ugali. Hey.
You cook or make. No, ugali is made. It's not cooked.
In the next 3 minutes, though, if you're sitting there and you have a talent and you know that ugali cannot be baked,
It's made. You have to construct ugali.
does this business really work for you? We'll find out. Adele Onyango Shafi, we're in the little cake girl.
Yes.
That's what you need to be looking for on Instagram and on Twitter. Are you guys on Twitter? Because I found your actual account. So I hope you don't tweet funny things, because now we've shared it. Oh, Lord. But also on Facebook. I saw your Facebook page as well.
Yeah, so I'm very strong on Instagram and pretty strong on Facebook.
Okay, so just check out Little Cake Girl. I've been sharing a couple of photos. One cake that Shafi loved is the one with the Kenyan flag. That was pretty dope. I think I liked the most recent one that she put up, like the Rastafari person inside of me. It was just
Got many DMs about that cake.
like strong.
To see us a different side of Kenyans. I'm like,
Okay, but now you're 7 years deep into this business, all right?
Yes.
Is it something that somebody can live off of? Because I feel like sometimes parents will say, don't do this, and it's out of love, because they're just like, but you need to eat. Are you aware?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it all comes down to hard work. And I don't want to sound very cliche.
Yeah.
But really, you just have to work hard. There's other people doing the same thing as you. There's other people doing the same thing as you at a better price. I mean, better by lower.
Yeah.
So you've got to work hard. You've got to find your niche. My personal niche is luxury cakes. As in, I don't steer away from that. I don't wander off.